Ooh, there's another guy upstairs. I'm dead. I was trying to full clear it, and he was just hiding in a little corner. One of the hardest things to do in Escape from Tarkov is win a fight against somebody that's just holding one single angle where you don't know exactly where they are. The maps are crazy detailed, and it's often really hard to not put yourself in a position where you have so many different angles to check. They're just holding the one angle, and then you lose the fight. This is another episode of our Lessons from Beyond the Grave, where I take a look at clips from my stream where I died, and we analyze what I did wrong and what I can learn from that situation. And in this one, we are talking about how to clear multiple angles and how to eliminate angles and put yourself in a position with the greatest chance of success. If you like the video and find it helpful, think about dropping a like or commenting down below. That stuff helps me out a ton, and we are getting so close to 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so thank you so much to every single person that subscribes. Anyways, the way these work is we'll take a look at the clip, we'll watch it in its entirety, and then we'll kind of go back and break it down. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first clip. All right, so first off, I'm sorry about the terrible quality here. Recording NVGs in Tarkov when you're on painkillers and then re-recording it is just kind of destroys the quality over and over and over again. So it gets a little grainy, but you'll understand what's going on. The setup here is we're on Lighthouse, so I'm playing with the duo. My duo is downstairs. We chased an enemy into this building and we killed that enemy. So I'm trying my best to, even though we've eliminated the only threat that I know of, to try and keep my guard up and clear everything and make sure there isn't somebody else there. So I don't know someone's here, but I suspect it, and I'm trying to keep my guard up, and then this happens.
I don't know if you want it. Your call, really.
Ooh, there's another guy upstairs. I'm dead. I was trying to full clear it, and he was just hiding in a little corner. So as you can see, I almost immediately reacted with saying like, man, I was trying to full clear it. And if we actually back up in the clip, it's interesting. I end up going upstairs. He's in here. I end up closing this door and then looting the other side of the top of that building. He didn't make a single sound. So even though I was trying so hard to keep my guard up and make sure there was nobody else in here, we spent a lot of time in here. He made absolutely no sound. He was holding that angle. He was holding that corner, and he wasn't going to move. He heard that there was two of us, right? So it's a 1v2. There's no way out of this building if you're him, except basically just running down the stairs. So he's kind of, this is kind of his only play. I don't even think this guy was necessarily camping. He was in here, and at this point, this was this guy's only play. But right here is the part I want to talk about. So we open up this door, right? I've got the laser on to help with my point fire. You know, you could argue that I should have turned that off because that would give me away, which is true. Either way, as we open up this door, okay, you see how many angles there are. There's this room, and there's this little closet around the right-hand corner. And this is a really hard spot to be in because I'm trying to do it the, you know, the immersive, the realistic way where I go slow, I check every door, but I'm just exposing myself to so many different angles, so many different corners all at the same time. And it's basically just kind of like a lottery on which one is which corner is the guy going to be in, if there's a guy there, and you never really know. And as much as I want to kind of, you know, play it the immersive way and move really, really slowly, I think in Tarkov, when you're presenting yourself in a situation like this, where you have a ton of different angles to check, your three options are try to bait movement, try to eliminate angles, or run away. You know, we didn't have to be up here. We could have killed that guy. I could have been downstairs with Deadly, just full clearing that, and then we could have just moved out if we wanted to retreat. If I want to move forward, it all comes down to either baiting out movement or eliminating angles. And what I mean by eliminating angles is, and you see this a lot with the super aggressive play style of people, and it's not always just because they want to be aggressive. It's not always because they just want to shift W towards people. It's about maintaining how many different places somebody could kill you from. And the example in this clip would be if I actually just full sprinted across into this room. It's a coin flip on if somebody's going to be there, and it's going to be an aim battle if I get in there. But if I had moved across to that room, I probably would have baited movement from this guy, so I would have hurt him. And if I made it into that room, I would have then basically only had one angle to clear. I can move in here and I can just like look to my right. This guy wouldn't have had an angle on me if I made it all the way inside. If I just shift W, jumped, or ran straight into that room, chances are, based on all my experience in Tarkov, this guy wouldn't have been able to put shots on me that quick. Same thing if he wasn't here. Or I could have hooked right into the left here instead of moving across too. I could have stood at the door for a little bit longer and even, VoIPed or tried to bait out the movement. And all of those things would have at least potentially given me an option here. But just by opening this door, not seeing an immediate threat and then walking in, it's just, you just have to pick. I just pick an angle. I looked over there. There wasn't anybody there. I kind of checked this room, and we hear that one tiny little step. He starts to shoot me in the back. I try to sprint into this room, but I've got no stamina because my sprint, and then boom, I fall over dead. So it goes back down to eliminating angles if possible. In situations like this is just kind of the way Tarkov works. There's no guaranteed way to survive. If I sprinted across, but there was somebody in there, I probably would have died as well. But there's so many different places for him to shoot at me from, trying to eliminate how many possible angles, even grenades, right? If I threw a grenade into this room, if I threw a grenade into this room, if I actually threw a grenade, you can see it blew up right there. Earlier, I threw a grenade into like the foyer here of these 3 rooms, and we didn't hear any movement at all, but that's because he was tucked into this closet. So this is one of those things where it's not going to work every time, and it's all about like maximizing your chance of survival. Some of these situations are just impossible. Some of these situations where it was a 3-man, you thought it was a 2-man, it was a 5-man, you thought it was a 4-man. If there's a guy who's patient enough and makes no noise, sometimes there is just nothing you can do. There's no way to know. But when this happened, I just remember immediately after that talking about that with chat, where if I had moved into a room, if I had tried to use sound, if I had tried to eliminate the amount of angles when I walked in here, I would have had a higher chance of survival. And this presents itself in other places as well. Our next clip is a Shoreline clip, and this is something that happens to a lot of people all the time. So let's go take a look at that. All right, so we're here on Shoreline, and we're talking about the staircases on Shoreline. Obviously, this is anywhere that there are staircases and stuff like that, but Shoreline, this happens all the time where you don't know whether to look up or down, and it gets you killed. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this clip as well.
I should have calmed that.
So super frustrating death right there. And this is a similar situation. The kind of backstory of this clip is that I was playing with the duo again. We all know how the audio on Tarkov is. And when I first engaged with this guy, he was on the 2nd floor. So we're kind of moving around. We're trying to figure out where this guy is. You never know where the audio is. But right there at the end, when I kind of present myself to that guy, we see the flashlight. There's blood on the wall. Like, I know that this fight was taking place on 2nd floor. But I know that he wrapped around to the staircase, and I don't know if he went down or up. I see his flashlight there. I thought he was on 2nd. I thought he was like literally going to turn to peek me, and I super wide peek this, and just this whole thing right here is bad. It's dark, so I can't really see. I don't have my flashlight on. And just this frame right here, knowing that this guy could literally be on any one of these steps, he could be all the way up on 3rd, he could be moving down to 2nd, and he can even shoot at you from down here through these slats and these steps. There's too many different places for me to look, and there's too many places he could plausibly be. This is a situation where it's less of a guy like holding an angle forever and more of just he could plausibly be anywhere. I watched him run around this corner. He could have been holding and wait for me to push. He could have been trying to bait a push out of me. He could have ran downstairs. He could have ran upstairs. When this situation happens and I see that flashlight, I shoot, and I'm continuing to hear him run. If I had backed up, turned around, gone to the other staircase, and gone up to the 3rd floor, well, now since I'm on the top floor, he can only be down. I could have moved around here, cleared the top floor. He ended up going up, so I probably would have gotten into a fight with him right here. But even if he had gone down, I would have eliminated the fact that he was up top. I would have been able to work down to the 2nd floor, see if he was right here, work down to the 1st floor. But instead, I kind of presented, a lot of things went wrong here. I overextended. I think I was heavy, so the inertia kind of brought me out farther than I wanted to be. It was dark, so I couldn't really see him. We're always looking for that contrast. And when it's dark, it just adds to this. I don't know if he's up or down. My eyes are all over the screen. It's dark, so I'm really looking for super high contrast, and there is no high contrast, so I miss him. And then I try and get him, and I get kind of stamina'd right there, where as soon as he hits me, all of my stamina drains. My instinct kicked in to be like, okay, he's already getting shots on me. I probably can't acquire target and get shots on him before I die. So let me try and get to cover here, because I know I'm close to this wall as hard cover. But as soon as he starts shooting at me, I just can't. I have no stamina, and I end up just walking away. So this is just a similar situation where it's about either what it comes down to running away if you don't want to take the fight, if you're not comfortable with taking the fight, eliminating angles, which would have been going upstairs and then working my way down, or baiting out audio, and that would have been me holding on the second floor here. I run, I push, I shoot at the flashlight, and right here I could have just stopped and tried to bait out audio. This guy is not in a great position. Like, it turns out he was halfway up the third floor. He wouldn't have stayed there very long. He would have either continued to run up, and then I would have been able to hear that, or he would have come down and gone for a push on me. So I feel like this is one of those things, if you're trying to get better at PvP, this is one of those things to keep in mind when you're in a PvP fight, whether it's somebody playing super slow and holding angles or playing aggressive. Are you putting yourself in a situation where you have to check multiple angles to figure out where your enemy is, when they potentially only have to check one if they're hearing your audio, if they're holding an angle? And is there a way to minimize that by just bailing on the fight, by minimizing the amount of angles people can shoot you from? That's why a lot of people like right side peek and stuff like that, or waiting and trying to bait out sound with either tools or with aggression or with something like that. So I hope that these clips helped. I hope that breaking this stuff down is just another thing to be aware of. I know PvP in Tarkov is a lot, but this is how we get better. So I hope this helped, and I hope that you go out and start slaying out some PvP in Escape from Tarkov. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to check out this video. If you liked the video, think about dropping a like, commenting down below, or subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Like we said before, I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below, and we are getting so close to 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so any subscribe helps me out a ton. If you're also looking for people to play Tarkov with, our Discord server is an awesome place to be. That link is down below as well. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.